Kevin Costner agrees that the best Western TV show of the decade was a soap opera. Yellowstone wasn't just a ratings hit. It was a cultural juggernaut that launched the neo-Western genre back into the cultural zeitgeist. During its 2018 to 2024 run, Taylor Sheridan's epic not only dominated cable TV, but also reignited America's obsession with rugged ranch life, political corruption, and frontier justice. It helped launch a sprawling universe of spin-offs, introduced a new generation to the Western aesthetic, and turned the Dutton family into modern-day legends. Audiences couldn't get enough of the Duttons and the tangled web of love, betrayal, and bloodshed that came with defending the family's empire. However, as gritty and grounded as Yellowstone could be, Costner himself believes the show wasn't just a Western. In a 2025 interview with E.T., Costner explained that he viewed Yellowstone as a borderline soap opera. While that might sound like an unexpected label for a show so focused on land battles and cattle drives, it turns out there's more than a little truth to it. Costner's comments suggest that the show's strength came not just from its genre trappings, but from the messy, emotional chaos that defined the Duttons' world. Kevin Costner thinks Yellowstone was a bit of a soap opera. Kevin Costner didn't hold back when reflecting on Yellowstone, especially when it came to the show's dramatic undercurrents. During a conversation about the series' legacy and his exit from the role of John Dutton, Costner delivered a surprisingly blunt yet insightful take on the tone of the hit Western. Kevin Costner's assessment of Yellowstone being a soap opera isn't a dig. It's an acknowledgement of just how wild things got over the course of 5 seasons. While Yellowstone presents itself as a grounded neo-Western with horses, hatchets, and harsh landscapes, the actual meat of the story is pure melodrama. Fistfights, betrayals, secret deals, long-lost family members, murder cover-ups, love triangles. Yellowstone has all the twisty tropes of a solid soap. That's before you even get to Beth Dutton's scorched earth vendettas or Jamie Dutton's Wes Bentley ever-worsening identity crisis. From a certain angle, Yellowstone is not far off from a primetime soap like Dallas, just with more violence and better cinematography. Costner's line about the characters all belonging in prison isn't hyperbole. The Duttons spend much of the series walking a legal and moral tightrope, resorting to blackmail, backroom deals, and even murder to keep their land and legacy intact. Despite being the heroes of the story in the eyes of some fans, the Duttons' tactics were often closer to organized crime than heroic ranching. Yet, that's precisely what kept viewers hooked. Taylor Sheridan's writing injected traditional Western tropes with turbocharged family drama, transforming ranching life into something rich in borderline unbelievable volatility. Costner's John Dutton may have been the stoic patriarch, but he was also a man constantly dragged into personal chaos, much of it caused by his own children. The intensity of those dynamics and the way they constantly exploded into emotional or physical violence is exactly what you'd expect from a soap, just in cowboy boots. Yellowstone being a soap opera is why the neo-Western show works. While it might sound like an insult on the surface, Kevin Costner's observation that Yellowstone is a bit of a soap opera actually hits at the heart of why the show was such a runaway success. Yes, Yellowstone is predominantly a Western which also serves as a slick political thriller. However, the reason audiences tuned in week after week wasn't just for land disputes or cattle wrangling. It was for the gut-wrenching betrayals, unhinged confrontations, and relationship meltdowns that erupted almost every episode. Yellowstone works because it knows how to turn the dial up on the drama without ever tipping into parody. The show walks a fine line between gritty realism and outrageous melodrama, and it walks it confidently. Beth Dutton's fiery monologues, Rip Wheeler's vigilante justice, and Jamie's deeply fractured psyche might feel heightened, but they never feel out of place in the morally gray, high-stakes world Yellowstone crafted. In fact, they're what made the show's characters so unforgettable. That emotional volatility is a soap opera staple, and it's what made Yellowstone such a compelling neo-Western. The Duttons aren't just cowboys. They're ticking time bombs of trauma, pride, and legacy. Every decision they make has ripple effects that explode across seasons. Sheridan's brilliance lies in blending that explosive family dynamic with the scope of a frontier saga, delivering a Western that's just as much about emotional landmines as it is about actual land. Yellowstone didn't just give viewers a sense of place, it gave them scandal, heartbreak, revenge, and catharsis. And while that formula may sound familiar to fans of Dynasty or Knots Landing, Sheridan made it feel fresh by packaging it inside cowboy hats and political intrigue. Kevin Costner saw that duality firsthand, and he's right. Yellowstone might be the best Western of the decade, but it was also one of the best soap operas too.